Hello. We are indeed back, and we had some snow, and then we got rain, and so now there's no snow, and we got people on Owncast already. Hi, everybody. I'm live-ish, and there's a slight delay on the Owncast server, and it's really freaking me out. I gotta close this or stop it or something. I just want to see chat. Okay, good. Hi. How you doing? We are so back. Yeah. So Indiescape. Leia, hello. Joe, hello. Hello, people on Owncast as well, who won't be seeing the other chat, but we are, as always, now going out on Twitch, YouTube, and our own Owncast channel. So we're doing stuff. Yeah, Puppet building is the thing we are still doing, or something. I am rusty this morning. I had a fairly major, because I can talk, major dental procedure yesterday. I'm okay, but it's kind of discombobulated me a little bit. And I have I have so much medical stuff coming up. I am determined to not let it get in the way of the build streams. We are still doing this, regardless of my state. So if I'm a little off, that explains why. Oh, okay. So that's another reason that the build streams are probably going to be a bit boring for the next couple of months, because I literally have back-to-back, nothing dire or emergency or anything, just stuff that I have to take care of. Dental and medical stuff literally over the next couple of months, more than usual off. Yeah, slightly more. And so one of the results of that is that I'm just trying to build stuff that I've built before and that I know and that I can just kind of do in my sleep. So there's not going to be a whole lot of innovation or new stuff on the build streams for at least a couple of months. I do plan on doing some new stuff this year. I got some ideas, but I got to get all of this utilitarian stuff out of the way first, because it's just a lot. So build streams are never boring. It's very nice of you to say thank you. Indiescape. That's Indiescape on YouTube, apparently. Yeah, but so what I'm doing this week is Greeblies. Last week was Smalls, this week is Greeblies. Like I said, stuff I've done before. But we got some stuff to do. I have to make a batch of arm rods, so that's what we're starting out with. I have done it on stream before, but not often, so that's actually, I mean, it's not new, but it's relatively unusual. Oh, and also, yes, the podcast, Pixels and Puppets, is coming back. We are scheduled to record this Saturday, episode 1 of season 2. So that's exciting-ish. We got lots to talk about. It should be good. So yeah, it is a full schedule for me. That's just a reminder that I did not put myself on Do Not Disturb, and I probably want to do that. Here we go. Yeah, because one thing, I'm waiting on a foam order. I was actually kind of worried that I wasn't going to have anything to do today on stream, because see this? See this piece of foam? This is all I got. This is it. Smalls use a lot of foam, it turns out. I never really kind of thought about it, but they do, because they're all foam, right? There's no gaps or anything. It's just a solid bit of shape of foam. So they use a lot, and so I thought I had more than I did, but turns out I don't. It's okay. I've got more. It should actually be showing up today. That's one of the reasons why I went on Do Not Disturb, because I may be getting a delivery, and it'll be okay. Is there going to be chat of Baldur's Gate? Because I actually have. Oh goodness, Indiescape, no. I trust you being on the podcast. We already talked about Baldur's Gate, or I did, and you probably wouldn't like what I had to say. I am, as frequently, I am an outlier in my opinions on certain pop culture things. Baldur's Gate 3 is one of them. Not a fan. But you can go back and listen to the podcast archives. It's in the show notes somewhere. I can't even remember. It was one of the more recent ones. But yeah. I just don't like horny games at all for any reason. It's just me. It's just me. If you're enjoying it, go nuts. Fill your boots. Jamie, hello. Nice to see you. Yeah, but we will be talking about some video games. One of them is going to be a Star Wars thing. I am so hesitant to talk about anything Star Wars at all anymore, but it's relevant and it's something that I've been doing, so we're gonna wade into those waters. Anyway, we should probably build some puppets. I'm gonna have some more coffee and then we're gonna build puppets. I'm also gonna have a lozenge because the last thing I need to do is lose my voice on stream. A lozengey coffee. It's delicious. Nothing like Fisherman's Friends and chicory coffee. Cafe Du Monde and mint. Yep. It's a good combination right there. Marcus, hello. Yeah, it is a huge time sink. I honestly, we've already got into it, so I shouldn't rehash the whole thing. But even if it were not for just the unbelievable and in-your-face and unescapable horniness of it, I just didn't really like the gameplay. Like I never got into a flow state with it, right? So it's not a Kevin game. It just isn't. If it's a you game, then yay. Star Wars will be exciting soon. Mando movie has been greenlit for production soon. Yeah, interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it'll be, I'm obviously willing to give it a chance. I like Mandalorian quite a bit, so we'll see. Yeah. Oh no, it is quite other for a game that is strictly speaking a porn game. It's unbelievably horny. Like and I'm so not. I don't need or want that. I don't even like in like a standard, old school BioWare game. I don't even like the romance options. Like I want nothing to do like, it's just I don't need it. Don't want it. It's a huge turn off for me. But that's just me. I know most people like the romance stuff in video games. I really, really don't. But ask me about anime as well, because, while we're on unpopular opinions, I might as well trash my entire fan base. I'm going to have to turn in my geek card for this, but I'm indifferent to Star Wars. Joe, look, this is we're going to preface the Star Wars talk on the podcast with this about the reason why I'm so hesitant to talk about anything Star Wars in public at all anymore. And it is this, because like Star Wars, I'm going to say this on the podcast, I might as well rehearse it now. Star Wars has become, indifferent is an interesting position in that it's rare, right? But Star Wars has become, at least for me, like, the old saying, the things you never talk about at a family dinner are like religion and politics. You could add Star Wars into that mix for me. It's like the thing that you never talk about in public unless you want to get into an argument, right? And I never want to get into an argument. So it's just like, I have feelings. I have very, very long-term and deep feelings about Star Wars, and I'm terrified to talk about them. And that's sad, right? That's the opposite of what a healthy fandom is, but that's the point. It's not a healthy fandom. Anyway, now that I've pontificated about Star Wars fandom, Andor has been the only decent Star Wars property since like Mando Season 1. Andor's great. I haven't disliked anything, but I have to say that like Ahsoka, the whole Filoni-verse is kind of like, I'm lukewarm on it. I played a lot of Diablo 4. As a matter of fact, I probably should play more Diablo 4. I kind of dropped off of it for a bit. But yeah, no, lots of Diablo 4. And the new season launched, I think, right? I'm pretty sure. This is how out of touch I am. Literally just haven't had any time for that kind of thing. except for one game. I only have time in my life for one game at a time, and it hasn't been Diablo 4. We'll talk about what it has been on the podcast being recorded this Saturday. Here we go. Season 3 starts January 23rd. Okay, cool. Good to know. I did complete the battle pass. I never do all of the chapters, but I just make sure I do the battle pass for the seasons, and that's enough for me. I hit level 100 last season before I just stopped. Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's weird. There's a weird arc with Diablo 4. There's like, I go in, it's like, binge and purge kind of thing. It's like I get really into it and then not. It just kind of falls away and it's like it never happened. It's very, very strange. If you're on Owncast, by the way, hello, Scooter. I've added, so if you don't know, on Owncast, when you first join, it auto assigns usernames, and then you can change it. But I've added my own usernames that it auto assigns, so they're all Muppet names. So currently in Owncast chat, we've got Scooter and Dr. Teeth. So that's good news. I'm heading back to City of Heroes soon, nostalgia and all that jazz. Yeah, we should talk about that. I haven't actually done what I plan to do because there is exciting City of Heroes news. We haven't even added that into the podcast show notes, actually. We probably should. I'll see if I can follow up on that before Saturday. But yeah, there's exciting news in the City of Heroes camp in that the fan project that's been running forever actually got official endorsement. So that's very cool. They are now the official City of Heroes. City of Heroes is straight up back, and that's cool. Okay, anyway, let's get on to building some puppets. How about? Why not? Let's do that. Let's go to, I guess we'll go to the top cam. So I got a whole bunch of stuff prepped here. We're ready to go. Get the mouse out of the way. So the first thing I'm going to do is build a batch of arm rods. So I have a little bit of that prepped. Here are my handles. These are, as I have talked about before, simply use sponge brushes that you get for cheap and in bulk. If you just pull the spongy bit out, sure, this one's not cooperating. There we go. Pull the spongy bit out, and you get a nice little handle for an arm rod that is way cheaper than buying like wooden dowels and cutting them yourself. And you also get a little starter hole. I do take a drill press and I drill down even further just to make sure that we seat the rod well. But other than that, these are great. I use these all the time for everything. So I got a bunch of those. These are already prepped. These are already drilled. And I also have, I think I got 10. I probably should count more carefully. These are copper clad steel welding rods. These are what I use for my arm rods in general. And these have been cleaned as well, because when you get these welding rods, they're normally covered in or like a thin film of machine oil from getting like milled through the machine, and you don't want that. So dish soap is a really great way of clearing that up. So these have been cleaned, so these are ready to go. So the way that we attach the rods to the handles, A is with the hole. So we drill the hole, we put that down there. And we also want some kind of adhesive, and a really good adhesive. And so we use 2-part epoxy. Pretty much no better resin than that, or no better adhesive than that. This is stuff I haven't used before. This was actually recommended by BJ Geyer. This is JB Weld. 2-part epoxy, it's standard stuff. Now, the thing about all 2-part epoxies that I've ever used, they're really smelly. And you don't want to get this on your hands. If you want to wear a respirator with this, that would not be a bad idea. I'm not going to, just because the epoxy stuff is okay. When we switch over to start working with the barge, then I will be putting a respirator on, but I will be putting on gloves to handle this stuff. So I haven't used this stuff yet. This is brand new. So we will see. We'll mix up a batch of this. It's real simple. It's equal parts and then you mix it up, and then you got some working time, and it takes like 24 hours to fully cure. It takes like 4 hours to harden, and then 24 hours to fully cure. So I just make up my arm rods in batches, set them aside for 24 hours, let them sit, and then they're ready to go. So that's the first thing we're doing. I'm going to open the window and put the fan in the window so we start venting the absolutely horrible fumes that come off. Hey, Owncast! Welcome, dear Commander! Thank you! Yeah, so we are also going out on Twitch and YouTube. Unfortunately, I haven't yet been able to merge all of the chats. That is a thing in progress. But for the moment, I will just relay the Owncast chat to the rest of the chat. The nice thing about Owncast, this because of how my setup works, Owncast has slightly less delay because we're not going through Restream. I'm actually streaming to it directly. So you on Owncast, you're the privileged few. You're the elites. Okay. Got some gloves here. These have been used, but they should be okay. There's no tears or anything, so it's a matter of making sure I put them on the right way. Yeah, that looks right. Joe Weatherford says, I still feel like they're making them smelly in order to discourage huffing. Possibly. The thing is, the smell, I've talked about this before, the smell reminds me of like hair perm solution. It immediately triggers a memory to me being like a little kid and like my mother taking me to her hairdressing salon, and this smell that you get when the first time you walk into the hairdressing salon. There's something about the chemical reaction that is similar, if not the same. It makes things permanent. Indiescape, work computer won't accept the Owncast website, but it's okay with Google and YouTube. That's interesting. It might just be the URL, operationpuppet.live. Is it just like rejecting the URL, or what's going on? Dear Commander on Owncast says hi, other chats. Interesting. So yeah, the whole Owncast server thing is a work in progress. It may get weird. I don't know. I'm still working on tweaking it, and we've made some adjustments since last time. Hopefully there were some errors last time. Hopefully it'll be a bit more stable this time. We will see. Do let me know if you have any performance issues or if things start buffering like crazy or whatever. I am willing to like build a dedicated machine for it. It's not on a dedicated machine right now, but it can be. And I like Owncast a lot. I just like the philosophy of Owncast a lot. So we are leaning into the Fediverse. All right, so this is brand new. This hasn't even been opened yet. So we're just gonna break the seal of the chamber. Okay, this stuff that's like a white gloopy stuff. You got to make sure you don't cross the streams here. Don't mix these until you are ready. There we go. Okay. So the way I've seen BJ Geyer do it is he literally just squeezes these both at the same time, and that's how you measure it. Like you need 50-50. It doesn't have to be mathematically perfect as long as you get more or less 50-50. You just don't want too much of one and the other. So I'm just gonna squeeze both at the same time and get about the same amount. Here we go. It's got a nice color scheme. One is black and one is white. Oh, there's the smell. Oh boy. Okay, I see it's color-coded black and white. Nice. It's like a ska band. And now I have mirror in the bathroom stuck on my head. Yes, I'm looking at Owncast. Dear Commanders, I'm from support, but don't hesitate for a second to ask for help on support chat and ask the Fediverse Owncast. I will. I actually have a suggestion for that, in that it would be really nice to have like a kind of recommended spec for if you're going to build your own cast dedicated box, like let's get some like standard minimum and desirable specs. That would be cool. Okay, so here we go. We've got our two-part epoxy. Once again on stream, doing 8 different things. This probably isn't enough, but we're going to mix this up. This is really thick. And I'm definitely going to want more. But let's do it in batches. We'll do this in batches. Okay. It's not as smelly as the other stuff I was using, which is, I think, was Gorilla brand. Kevin is in the middle of the tube squeezer. I know, terrible. I wasn't paying attention. I'll correct it. Don't worry, I'll fix it. You're right. You're absolutely right. Okay, so. Oh, you know what I need? I need some paper towels. Always got to get the paper towels. We want to make this tidy. This really isn't. The reason that BJ recommended this to me was because I was specifically asking about a good brand, a useful brand of two-part epoxy that didn't smell as horrible, and this was what BJ recommended. This is JB Weld, and it actually doesn't. This is quite tolerable. This is not the chemical factory that the other stuff was. That's good. I should have used this a long time ago. But the Millput smells like hair conditioner thing, epoxy putty. Yeah, there is. There's something in epoxy, I think. BJ likes JB Weld. It's true. Yeah, there's got to be some similar chemical process happening. My instinct says it has something to do with peroxide or some kind of something like that. I don't know. What do I know about chemistry? I build puppets. Okay. So what we do is we just get a little of the gloop. And wow, this is really thick and gloopy. I may have to adjust. We'll see. And I just gonna get it all down in there. And then once I have it well coated, I push the rod into the hole that was drilled. And then I clean off the top. And that's that. That is an arm rod made. I got a little Captain Phasma mug. Speaking of Star Wars. And I just lay them in there. And that's kind of it. Now that has to sit for 24 hours before it's fully cured. But that's it. That's the whole shebang. Very exciting. There we go. But yeah, using the epoxy, the two-part epoxy on arm rods is a really good idea because there's nothing stronger than this, and these undergo some stresses. So, how long does it take JB Weld to cure? So, according to the package, it's like 4 hours to set and then 24 hours to fully cure. Excuse me. I need a lozenge, and I can't get a lozenge right now. Joe Weatherford, I used some of the other stuff and even stuff in a baggie. It took forever to get a smell in my room. I know, it's just horrible. This really isn't bad. You may want to investigate this, Joe, because I honestly, at the moment, because I've got the fan going, I can't smell it at all. Like that's how good it is. I'm actually a little shocked. Watch it not hold at all. Watch it be complete garbage. I'm sure if BJ Geyer recommends it, it's not garbage. Okay. There we go. Clean up. I was going to call it the entrance wound. That's grim. Kevin, what is wrong with you? We are going to have to mix some more up soon. The stuff is so thick and gloppy, it doesn't go very far. You got people joining on Owncast. I like that. This is good. It's encouraging. I hope the server holds up. Like I said, the Owncast server is a work in progress and will be for a while. We'll get there. Okay, it's time to mix some more of this delightful stuff. And we are fixing our squeezing protocol. Go for the bottom. Here we go. Just making sure we get equal amounts. Don't cross the streams. There we go. All right. Mix. It's my terrible Swedish Chef impression. I just thought that a cooking show is kind of what this reminds me of. And as it's puppets, what else are you gonna do? Okay, continuing on with our epoxy adventure. I'm really quite shocked at how inoffensive this smells. I mean, you can still smell it, but it's not like the horrible toxic waste of the other stuff I used. I put too much on. Let's get some of that off. There we go. And clean it up. And set it aside. Isn't this exciting? So after this, we're going to be getting the Danger Honey out and putting together some foam. I did have just enough foam to make the internals of 2 Greeblies. Can't put the hands together today because I am currently, as you see, making the arm rods. These have to fully cure before they get used, so. Oh well. I believe DB Weld is workable after an hour or so, with 24 hours is cure time. Yeah, well it says, let's see. Oh, that's just instructions. It said on the package somewhere. 4 hours, but it's probably got like an hour working time, that kind of thing, where you can muck around with it. It's good stuff. I like it. Thank you, BJ, who will never see this, because I'm not even sure how much on the internet BJ is anymore. I don't think his Facebook group is very active. I do know he started up a new production company recently. Like a fabrication company. It's good to know that still getting work, you know what I mean? It's encouraging. We need a Danger Honey song, we do. And Frankie will sing it. I feel, for some reason, the first thing that occurred to me was like, it has to be like a James Bond themed. Danger honey. Oh, it's so dangerous. It's the most dangerous honey of all. Are those streams recorded? So these will be archived on our PeerTube server and on YouTube, of course, but who cares about that? Sorry, YouTube people. So yeah, so puppet.zone. The URL, puppet.zone, is where this stream will be archived for you Fediversians. Last week's is already up there. Yep, we got PeerTube as well. We're gone full Fediverse. We're in it, fully committed. All right, last one. Here we go. So yes, Owncast. Go to puppet.zone. I'm looking at the chat for Owncast. Puppet.zone. That is our Owncast server. Or sorry, our PeerTube server. Share away, s'il vous plaît. Click like and subscribe, etc. Thank you, Scooter. That's great. The fact that it's Scooter and I got to say thank you. Scooter on Owncast posted a link. It's fellow Fedizen I'm going to follow. Thank you very much. Okay, that's it for the arm rods. Now we just got to wait. So these will go back in the plastic, and delighted with how little that smells. Like with the other stuff, it would throw this room out of commission for a day at least. I would just have to keep the door closed and the fan going to just vent this constantly, because as Joe had pointed out, it just fills the room, even in a plastic bag. It's just invasive. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in here. I should put this in some plastic before I toss it out. I don't think I have any currently available. I'll set this aside and put it in plastic later. Okay, so I'm gonna put these, excuse me for being off camera. I'm gonna whack myself in the face with them. Not recommended. Okay, there we go. They are up and away. Put the paper towels away because we are moving on to the Danger Honey. So, for the new people, this is Barge. This is an industrial contact cement. It is dangerous and it looks like honey. That is why we call it around here Danger Honey. So this is extremely toxic fumes. Don't get this on your skin. Don't breathe it in. If you're going to use this, use a respirator and use it in a well-ventilated environment. I have both. So let's see. This is probably going to need some help to get open because it's nicely sealed. There's two ways to avoid gluing the lid shut. The smart way is to put Vaseline or something around on the thread. I'm not smart, so I don't do that. The other way is, if it does get glued shut, just hit this with a hair dryer and heat it up, and it'll loosen up. Let's see. There we go. Okay, before I open that all the way, we're gonna get geared up here. So I've got a mic on the mask as well, so you should be able to. I'll sound muffled, but I can still talk and you can still hear me. So let me just get that going. I'm really happy I put those Muppet names. The animal just joined the Owncast chat, FYI. All right. Let me know if you can hear and or understand me. Okay, so I've got the pieces already cut, so we're just going to glue all this stuff together. These are the mouth plates.
These are 3D printed in TPU, so they are flexible. And I've already sewn the finger loops in. So you don't have to sit there and watch me hand sew. And the scary part is, we're only half an hour into the stream and I literally have nothing else to do after I get this done. I guess I could sew some stuff, but that's not terribly exciting. Oh well. We'll just have to go with it. Okay, so we're just gonna start. Get my glasses in the right position. Alright, so I want to check something on the stream here. One moment. Yes, okay. I can see the mic. That's good. The problem with the mask and the glasses is it always shows the glasses in a weird position, and since I have bifocals, it always messes up my focal plane. Danger, honey! So this is the head. Relatively clear, I think. And the usual barge instructions, don't put too much on, just a light thin coat. We're going to let this get tacky, going to let it dry for a little bit, and then we glue it together. Don't glue it together wet, because it won't. DCMA. You know, Owncast, I could put like a copyrighted soundtrack just on the Owncast server. Because nobody's monitoring Owncast. I won't, because we do get listed in the Owncast directory, and that would not be a good thing to do to them. Imagine having to wait for something on here to get tacky. Ba-doom-tsh. Fozzie Bear called. He wants his rider back. All right. I think we'll put the heads together, and then we'll move on to the bodies. Literally just to save space. I'm always running out of space. That was one of Statler and Waldorf's jokes. Ah, good point. It's been a while. All right. To speed up the process, I'm going to hit this with a hairdryer. Should be good. And let's see if we can get most of this on camera at least. So you just take the two sides. The first thing I do is I kind of lightly tack them together just to make sure everything's lined up. Then you give it a little pinch and that locks it into place. And line it up on the other side. Pinch. And then you want to make sure you get this even all the way down. And you don't want to squeeze the ends too much. You don't want to flatten it out. You want to get the most surface area touching each other. That's pretty good. Not bad at all. It's almost like I've done this before. And the bottom. There we go. One greebly head, more or less. We're going to put the mouth plates in next, but that's next. We're going to do this one first. Okay, for the folks on Owncast, since you're all probably new, I'm not explaining a lot as I go. If there's anything you have questions about, by all means, let me know, because I'm happy to answer questions. This is my daily work. This is just what I'd be doing anyway, so I'm just kind of powering through it. But that's mostly what the build streams are anyway. It's just me doing my work. We will occasionally do an instructional, one of those words. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to put the mouth plates in. So we got top and bottom. The bottom is shallower than the top. And I think we'll start with the plates themselves. So we just put like a ridge of glue along the inner surface. Not too much, Kevin. Are you paying attention? I don't think you're paying attention. If you want to, you can like draw a guideline. I don't really find that I need it that much anymore. I do when I'm putting the skin on. That's when guidelines come in really handy. But for this, I don't find I need them. And I'm also making sure I put it on the correct side. So we're gluing this with the finger loops on the inside, so we're gluing this on the inside. It's not like I've ever done it wrong by mistake or anything. That has never happened, obviously. I'm a professional. Professionals don't make mistakes ever. Ask every professional. Alright, there's that one. There we go. So all of the mouth plates are prepped. And now put the glue on the skull. Nothing like a glued skull. My danger honey is becoming quite gloppy. I have to get some thinner. Starting to get cold in this room because I got the window open and the fan and everything. But it's winter-ish. Oh well. This is just one of the many sacrifices that making puppets asks of you. It's not an easy life. But it is fun. Okay. So now we're gonna make sure these are nice and dry and then glue them together. So always start with the ones that you apply glue to first, because they'll be the driest. Come back! Okay, we'll go with this one first. The top or bottom first shouldn't matter, but I generally do the bottom first. The reason reason being that this may seem counterintuitive, but when you first see a puppet and it opens its mouth, really the thing you see first is the bottom jaw. So if there are any mistakes on the bottom jaw, they really stand out. The top you can be a little bit less fussy about. It's on the bottom where they really stand out. So you generally want to make sure the bottom is perfect before you put the top on. There we go. Line up the center. This one's always tricky. It's the last seam, getting everything seated right. There we go. It cooperated. Good Greebly. Okay, I find that sometimes when you've got a mouth plate like this, you can see sometimes the tip of the mouth plate is kind of poking out a little bit. You might want to file that down. I'm going to sand this down in a minute, just to make sure that it doesn't poke through the fabric. No problem, Jamie. All right, there we go. There's one Greebly head. Let's see how we did. Oh, not bad. Hello, I'm Puppet Head. Yeah, not bad. So let's do it again. Slowly and carefully. Don't ever be in a rush for this kind of thing. Or ever, really, but I mean, sometimes you have to, but not for this. It's always worth taking your time. The tricky one. This is the last one. Yeah, this is going pretty good. Not bad. Sometimes, I mean, you don't ever really know until you just put it all together and see it. Even ones you've done, like I've done hundreds of Greeblies at this point. You have patterns. You had Etsy on your direct shop. I am not inclined to sell patterns. I did have the Goblin pattern up there for a while. There's so much support that you need to do after the fact. People have the wrong idea about buying patterns. They think that you're buying like the instructions of how to make a puppet. And that's not what a pattern is. A pattern is just a pattern. You need to know how to make the puppet before you get the pattern. And I just don't have the time to give that level of support. So I'm probably just not going to sell patterns at all. I may give some patterns away to people who join the Operation Puppet Discord. membership has its privileges. But no, I am not inclined to sell more patterns. Ozoned on Owncast. Hello. Yes, you did. You managed to catch a stream. We are midstream. Welcome. Okay, so that's the heads. We got two Greebly heads just ready to go here. No. I'm a puppet. For some reason, I sound like Kermit. I wonder why. This is the secret of the Greeblies. They're actually kind of based on Kermit's shape a little bit. If Kermit was a Fraggle, that's kind of how I went. Do you record my videos and post them somewhere? Yes, we do. These get archived on our PeerTube server at puppet.zone. Thank you, dear Commander. Look at this. We got people helping people out in the Owncast chat. Love it. Love to see it. They're also on our YouTube channel, but hey, if you're on Owncast, you're in the Fediverse. So are we. So, thank you, dear Commander. I promise I am working on getting all the chat unified. That is a thing that will happen. It's just going to take a while. Yeah, last week's was the first build stream since the PeerTube server went up, and it's already archived up there. I usually get them up same day. Wow, we are getting activity on the Owncast. This is great. Love it. So these are the bodies. So there's two halves with some darts. I'm going to do the darts first, and then we're going to join the two halves. The Fractal and I are huge nerds and have been on Owncast for a while. I think we actually found each other on Owncast. Nice! I love that Owncast is growing. That's great. I could live stream on the PeerTube, but I just like Owncast in general. It's just that there's a nice vibe to it. I like the developer. It's good head on its shoulders, as it were. I mean, let's face it, pretty much everybody in the Fediverse is a huge nerd. Come on. And that's a good thing. Trying to help it grow, constantly being told by folks it's impossible. So FYI, you're doing the impossible. I know, right? We're doing it right now. Look, as long as people make stuff and put it up there, it will grow. We are in it. We're here to stay. All right, stop talking. Time for hair dryer. My laptop goes to sleep. There we go. All right, so now we're going to close the darts. Well, this is the thing I realized late last year about like me being on the Fediverse, and I know it is niche. This is the thing, like it's not where the mass audience is, and particularly for what I do, right? But then I kind of realized, well, that's okay. Like, if I'm almost the only one doing it, that's good. Like, I'm at the beginning of a... Imagine being the first person on YouTube to do, like, instructional videos or something. Like, just... We're in at the ground floor of a growing thing, and that's cool. Just because it's not going to be, you know, the most popular thing ever, it doesn't have to be. It can be its own cool, smallish thing, and that's nice. Yeah, that's it. We're doing it. It's the... I keep making the comparison between like cafeteria tables in high school. The Fediverse is the freaks table. It's like where all the goths and the punks hang out, and that's cool. And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be big to be good, right? And that's the point. Be good. So, like, am I going to get a lot of business from the Fediverse? Probably not. But I don't care. That's not what it's for. It's for community. It's for people. That's the point. Here we are. You can tell we've got the Fediverse folks here. What the topic that people on the Fediverse most love talking about is the Fediverse. And it's okay. It's cool and special, and we like that. Yeah, and this is the thing. This is why I'm not going exclusively on the Fediverse, because I still have a shop to run, right? I still have to reach the mass audience who will never be in the Fediverse. But I also want to be in the Fediverse, right? So it's like, it's inclusive, it's more, it's additive, it's not exclusionary. You don't have to choose one or the other. Slug Fan on YouTube. I just got here. Please forgive me. Are you building a Greebly or a human? These are Greeblies. We be Greeblyin'. All right. Now, forgive me, I have to focus on this part. Joining the two halves together. Like so. And one greebly torso. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. So this is what a greebly looks like inside. And now let's do it again, because that was so much fun. No, honestly, like I was on 10 viewers on Owncast right now. Like, that's amazing. I don't get that on Twitch. I also got a question. Do you believe for a show, special production? I run my own shop. I also have an Etsy shop. But much like the Fediverse, I also have a direct shop, OperationPuppet.com. And this is what I do for a living. I sell these to anybody who wants to buy them. I also make them for myself. And I have a couple of shows on the PeerTube, the Oracle being among them. But this is my job. I do this every day, every week. I have made puppets that have been on TV. Mostly I sell to like hobbyists and amateurs and people who are just starting out, because I'm at the lower end of the price point. Big studios who make professional puppets, they can be expensive. And that's kind of what I do, is I try and make them inexpensively, but still with like quality design and quality materials, so people who may not otherwise be able to afford to get into serious puppetry can get a good quality puppet for themselves, which is not that easy. What's your most famous puppet? That's a tough call. I think either Millie the Possum, who is performed by Sarah Berman. She's mostly on TikTok and Instagram. But Sarah Berman is a professional puppeteer who, among many other things, is the head performer on Waffles and Moki on Netflix. And I made her signature character, Millie the Possum. The other puppet that I know for sure has been on TV, and again, I don't know, sometimes people buy them and I don't know idea what they do with them. The other puppet that I know for sure has been on TV was Jack Williams, who's a ventriloquist. He got into finals last year, I think, of America's Got Talent, and he has an orange lizard puppet that I built and designed specifically for him. So those are probably the two most notable. Yeah, Sarah Berman, the puppeteer on, or the head puppeteer on Waffles and Moki, is amazing. She's fantastic. At some point, I may be doing a Millie 2.0. We'll see. We're talking about it. The Slug Fan on YouTube. I know this sounds lousy, but I always use Elmer's rubber cement on foam. It's not as toxic as Barge. Sorry if I accidentally insulted you. Hey, look, you use what works for you. That is ultimately the most important thing. If you find it's working for your use case, go for it. I understand being scared of Barge. Believe me, it's scary stuff. You have to take it seriously. But I don't, I don't believe in gatekeeping. Like, I'm only showing what are generally considered to be best practices and what works for me. That may not be what works for you. You have to figure that out. Each builder is different. Okay, here we go. Now we join the two halves together, and after this I can take the freaking mask off. Joe Weatherford, I noticed quite a few times when I have questions on building, most people just tell me to figure it out myself. Yeah, I mean, there is that. That's not terribly helpful, though. I at least would try to give some suggestions or some guidelines, or if it's something I've never done before, we can, put our heads together and speculate about it. The most important thing, and this is not just for puppet building, this is for everything. The most important thing is to just do it. You're not going to be good right away. Like the saying goes, the way to be good at something is to be bad at something. The only thing that counts is practice. Is there a special shop to get supplies to build those, or do you find those everywhere in the hardware store? So there's lots of answers to that question. Yeah, there are special materials that get used for professional puppet building specifically. It is also possible to use very commonly available stuff. If you go to the PeerTube server, there is actually a playlist called Building a Puppet with Accessible Materials. It's an older playlist, but in it I talk about what the kind of exotic materials are and what the more commonly available substitutes are. Because the more exotic materials can be expensive or hard to find. So yes, there are places. There's a company called Puppet Pelts. There are fabric stores. There's a lot of industrial, like a barge, for example, is commonly used in leatherworking. So there's all kinds of different places. There's special types of foam, for example. But so yes and yes, the two answers to that question. All right, we're in the home run here, the home stretch. This is Jamie on Twitch says, Kevin's only figured out your self-answer as regards to Kermit the Frog patterns. Yep. That is, and there's a reason for that, right? Like, not just the copyright thing, but you learn a valuable lesson when you figure it out yourself for something like that. Yeah, on Owncast, I set the random usernames to be all Muppet names. I thought that would be fun. Because Kermit just joined the Owncast chat, FYI. One day it'll be real Kermit. Right, Frog? You okay back there? Okay, here we go. Greebly innards built. I'm gonna close up the barge, nice and solid. Deglove. Geez, your hands get all gross for after a while in those things.
Oh, and finally. Oh, that feels so good. I need a lozenge. My throat's all scratchy. Oh boy, let me tell you. Here, let's go to this cam for like I got a little lines on my face from the mask. Lozenge. Here we go. Jamie on Twitch. A sentence most people will never have to type. I just had to turn down the volume on my Commodore 64 so I could hear my puppet making friend on their live stream. That is a sentence that is very unique to you, Jamie. It's true. Oh, the Fractal likes my shirt. Thank you very much. I'm a fan of Jazz Age fashion in general and also of Hawaiian shirts. So I have a fairly decent collection of Hawaiian shirts that I usually do wear on stream. I tried to, look nice for the stream. I'm not a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy. What can I say? Here's something we can do for Owncast. Owncast hasn't seen this yet. Speaking of Kermit. Yeah. Hi everyone. The Fediverse, huh? Oh, that's good. I understand it's not that big, but friendly, and that's important. Yeah. Yeah, I have a couple of Kermits. This is my Kermit that is sized for my hand. Jim Henson, notoriously, had very, very long, thin hands. That Kermit back there, that's built to full scale. That's built to Jim Henson scale. And so I need to wear a glove or something if I'm going to operate that one. This one is built to scale for my hand. So yeah, it's good. Anyway, I'm going to go back now because I'm on a little stage fright. This is the thing I always point out about Kermit. His neck is much longer than people generally think. When you picture Kermit in your head, you don't look at how long his neck is. It's really long. Anyway, yeah, there you go. There's Kermit for Owncast right there. Oh, where are we at? 12:19. I usually go for 2 hours. Is the average length of one of these streams. We're just gonna hang out for a little bit here, and I'm gonna have my coffee, my cold coffee, a very cold coffee. Oh, I'm gonna close that window soon. I want to let the air ventilate a little bit more before I decide to close it off. It's you operated other famous puppets like I have never. I'm only an amateur performer. I am not a professional puppeteer. I'm okay at it. If you want to see a lot of my puppeteering, you can go to the PeerTube server and look at all of the Oracle show. That's all me. But no, I have never professionally performed. I have some arthritis, and so it means that it is physically demanding to puppeteer for a long period of time. So doing this, with your arm above your head, that I can only do it for like 10 minutes most. And so no, I don't think I would never be in a position where I could perform professionally. But that part is strictly for fun and amateur. It would be nice, don't get me wrong. I love doing it, I love performing, but I just don't have the physical stamina to be able to do it. Yeah, thank you, Slug Fan, your poetry looks fine to me. I have practiced quite a bit. And in fact, when Operation Puppet as a whole started, it was pretty much just the Oracle show. I hadn't started building yet. The building thing didn't come in until about a year into Operation Puppet existing. It was first just going to be like YouTube shows featuring me doing puppeteering. So yeah, that was my first love, was performing, and I got into the building as a kind of extension from that. And now the building is just taking over everything. But it's cool. I like it. It's fun. All right, I'm going to close my window. I'm going to be off camera for a second. Forgive me. It's freezing in here. So, the funny part is, hey, I'm still here. That was all I actually had on the docket for doing today on stream because, like I said, I gotta wait for the arm rods to cure before I can put the hands together. I have to head out. Might go to stream myself. Nice. Thank you for joining us on Owncast. That's amazing. Thank you very much, dear Commander. Yep. We do this every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So stick around because it's regular now. And what this tells me is the Owncast server is holding up. I haven't looked at the stats. Let me look at the actual stream health here. Sorry to do this on the puppet building stream, but I need to know. Playback health, 100%. I like seeing that. That's great. That's excellent. Okay, cool. Now what? Well, what we can do. Wow, why is that there? Let's get rid of that. Okay. That was a very Wario kind of wah. I do have the skins of these Greeblies already kind of cut, ready to go. So I could get the sewing machine out. We could just sew. Because these are all, I've already hand sewn the bit that I'm going to hand sew on the head for this one. So this is all machine sewing here. So we can just get this done. I mean, it's just my work. It's just what I'd be doing anyway. So why don't we do that? Let me get that all set up. Jamie, my being bad at Puppet Lip Sync in New York is inadvertently responsible for Operation Puppet. It's true. It is absolutely true. There was actually no, I didn't put the vlogs on PeerTube yet. I probably should. There is the full story of how that all happened on the YouTube channel. I'm gonna try and get these out of the way because I need some table space here. Where do we put these? We'll put these over here. Because it's time to get the machine. And we're also going to get the close-up cam, I think. Pink or red, can't tell what color it is. So I've got this is kind of beige, and this is pink. I know the colors on the cameras are like meh. Okay, getting the machine. Now I'm going to switch the cameras here in a sec. Just let me get this all set up. So we could go the shoulder cam here, or this is probably what we're going to do. This is going to get shaky cam, forgive me. I also have this close-up camera. This is probably better, huh? You can see what's going on with the sewing machine here. Uh-oh. You know what I just did? I accidentally knocked the Owncast stream offline. Sorry, Owncast. I literally hit the button on my stream deck that turned the stream off. I'm sorry, my apologies. That wasn't Owncast messing up, that was me messing up. Forgive me. Own cast for I have sinned. Okay. Anyway, we're back. We're back. Don't worry, we're still here. And with the sewing machine, gonna sew some puppets. I should probably put some thread in the sewing machine. That would be helpful. It means all the notices went out again on the socials. I'm sorry. I'm also juggling my attention between two different chats, so forgive me if I miss anything. Also, building puppets. There's a lot going on right now. How does that look? That looks okay. All right, I'm just threading the machine here. Thread is overrated, only leaves when slightly seams. You're not wrong. Pop. Do this. We'll do the pink first because that's what's in the machine. So 1 greebly arm. This is gonna. For the own cast, folks, a common theme among puppet builders. Everybody hates making hands. Hands are a pain in the tuchus to put together. They're just fiddly and awkward and time consuming, and nobody likes it. So you will often hear puppet builders complaining about making hands. So welcome to your first puppet builder complaining about making hands, if you're joining us on Owncast. It's literally, it's like a puppet builder's trope now. Anyway, this is among the reasons why. This isn't even the bad part. The bad part is putting the foam and the wire armature in. And now it gets slow and fiddly. I have to do this by hand because it's a very tight curve. You have to reposition the needle a lot. Multitasking like a chef is true. You are not wrong. Come on. The pedal on this machine is on a hair trigger and it's really easy to go too fast. I watched someone on YouTube who works in clay, and all clay sculptors hate hands too. Interesting. Interesting. I think it's just because they have a lot of contours and they're very detail oriented, right? Thank you, dear Commander on Owncast. I very much appreciate the support. There'll be lots more. Fear not. Thank you very much. Slug fan, I use pipe cleaners for armature wire. And the fuzziness adds cushion and fills out the hand perfectly. That's interesting. I'm sure that works great. I wouldn't be concerned that they would break easily over time. But like I said, works for you, go nuts. Oops. Drawing hands aren't much fun either. It's so sad. Hands get a raw deal. The hands themselves are nice. They're very expressive. They're, you know. Hard to make a puppet without hands. Not impossible, but hard. All right. Now the easy part. Have I ever built grouches before? Not strictly speaking. I built things that look very much like Oscar had a family, but not strictly speaking. The copyrighted characters, shall we say? But I built things that are very, very similar. Yes, quite often actually. I remember the most recent new head shape that we did for one of those ended up looking like a cross between Grover and Oscar. And so we named it Brundle Grouch. JB, I think, named it Brundle Grouch because it looked like somebody put Oscar and Grover in a particle accelerator. Like Brundlefly from The Fly, get it? Because everybody loves David Cronenberg horror films, right? All right, that's one arm. Now we do it all again. Brundle Grouch and Helmo are my proudest naming achievements. Helmo was pretty good. Did a red monster that looked like Elmo had become possessed. Which is now on the Monstrosity channel on YouTube, FYI. I don't know if I ever told them that we nicknamed it Helmo. Kind of gone outside the line on this one, but that's all right. I often do. It'll be fine. Note to self, put that button on the Stream Deck in a different place so you don't accidentally knock the Owncast server offline again. Or make it a long press or something like that. Turns out confirmation dialogues are a good thing. Joe Weatherford, remember Dragon Con years ago, seeing a dead-on Oscar replica. It actually looked more like Oscar than the current Oscar puppet for the show. Well, you know the story about that, as far as I'm aware, was that Carol Spinney would never let them make a new one. And it really, really needed it. So I think after After Carol passed away, they were like, okay, look, this thing is being held together by nothing. Let's make a new one. And it's very hard to make, even if you've got the patterns, it's really hard to make two puppets that look identical. Something got weird there. Maybe that was. The thread didn't break. Guess we'll find out. Again, if you've got a Kermit head pattern in half, you have almost have a bird head pattern. Yeah, Kermit's real simple, right? Pattern-wise, Kermit is real simple. This is what we keep on saying about Kermit. Everything about Kermit is simple except Kermit. Actually making a puppet that looks like Kermit is difficult, even if you've got an accurate pattern. There's so many little details, but yeah, I can see that. The beak and everything. All right, so now this is the head, and this is simple. These are just two straight seams. What's our time like? 12:38. Okay. Also, the new Oscar the Grouch Muppet is shaggier and more of an olive green than a faded jade green. Yeah, Oscar. Well, the OG. You're right, Jamie. The OG Oscar was orange, and the whole thing about the color was that it just faded over time, right? And again, Carol would never let them replace it. He would barely let them repair it. The reason that Oscar got that weird sideways mouth thing was just because the hinge in the mouth plate broke at one point, and he wouldn't let them fix it. He just incorporated that into the character. Jock Muju, hello on Twitch. Nice to see you. This is 2 weeks in a row you've caught me now. And making puppets that you've seen me make before. These are Greeblies. Once again, I promise I make other things. You know, you follow me on Threads. You know what I make. Jamie, I love how Carol was two diametrically opposed characters. The relentlessly cheerful Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch. Yeah, it's true. In fact, Mana Mana originally used Oscar's for a pelt for a toga. Interesting, I didn't know that. Good Muppet trivia there. orange color was too intense for older TVs today, so they just changed to green. Yeah. I mean, if you've seen it, it was pretty glowy. It wasn't quite neon, but it was up there. Neon adjacent. Oh, I did this wrong. Why did I do it like that, Kevin? What are you doing? Focus. It's because I'm streaming. That's it. Blame this stream. Now I'm singing Phenomena. I mean, I bet you everybody is in their heads. Or out loud. All right, I think instead of sewing the other one, I'll cut and I'll trim all these and I'll turn the arms because that'll be at least fun to watch on stream. Don't knock the Owncast server. Offline, switch the cameras, here we go. Do you know what happened to the Lenny the Lizard Muppet? No idea. Trying to remember which one that is. Is that the one that had the really, really long snout with the fangs on the end? I'm not totally up to speed on all of my minor side characters. I apologize. All right, so all I'm doing now is I'm just trimming off the seam allowance. Yeah, so no idea what happened to the Lenny the Lizard. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to turn this because this needs to get sewn to the body when I decide what I'm going to do about the body. I mean, I've got some pink fur. I'll probably just do an entirely pink Greebly. Pink Greeblies are fun anyway. But for this is actually cut this out. These are the arms. And then we're going to turn it. Everybody enjoying the bland generic music? It doesn't cause a DCMA trigger. That's all I care about at this point. Make the bots happy. 2024. All right. You've used the pointed head human pattern and on Pink Fleece, you have made a head of Patrick Star. Yes. I imagine that is true. I've only made the one pointed head human head still available and nobody's bought it yet. I'm sure that's just circumstantial. Oh, we should. No, we'll cut this one out and then we'll turn them both. And then I think that'll probably be it for the stream. Close enough. Then there's just more sewing and turning. I still haven't figured out exactly what I want to do fur-wise for the body, so this requires some cogitation, and I also require some lunch. So, oh no, I could hear Jimmy the cat at the door. He woke up, realized that the door to the studio is closed, which is a tragedy. I love the snippy noises. I feel like that pup is probably in the museum collection or something. It's possible, yeah. I mean, Center for Puppetry Arts, possibly. I will get there one day. I will go on a pilgrimage. Okay, so now that these are all cut out, we're just going to turn these. Are you going to use Mongolian fur or straight shaggy thick fur? So the pink stuff I've got is really just kind of straight. It doesn't have the nice texture that Mongolian does. But it's also really, well, you know, I've got some orangey red Mongolian as well that would probably go well with pink. I haven't decided yet. I'm gonna put them both together and see. For the beige one, I have some really nice Mongolian, sort of light brown, reddish, like it's almost like red hair color fur. That's gonna look great with the beige, I think. That I'm really looking forward to. Oh, I got a thread here I shouldn't have. Recommend the people. Yeah, I like monochromatic stuff in general. Like, you know, if I'm gonna do like a blue puppet, I'll generally want to do it blue fleece and blue fur. But I also want variety, right? So I've done quite a lot of monochromatic puppets just for the sake of having different stuff. But yeah, I'll probably go with the pink. I might go with the pink just for practical reasons, in that I really don't have a lot of the pink, but I do have enough to do a Greebly body. Whereas with the orangey red, I have a fair amount of that, and it will probably go into making like a live hands monster. Dude. Exact. See, it's just there. It's just in the ether. Come on. The nice thing about the Nyla fleece is it's good and stretchy, so when you turn something, it's relatively easy. So there we go. There's one hand turned. One arm and hand. Lately, if I do fur puppets, I like to do dual colors because I'm a glutton for punishment. Well, yeah, particularly on fur, right? There's one I have planned for whenever I get around to doing something new after the doctors have finished with me. I'm gonna call it like a space teddy bear, because I can't call it an Ewok, but that's on the agenda. And it's specifically because of this really nice reddish fur that I've got. The first thing I thought when I saw it was like, oh, that would look like good on an Ewok with some other colors kind of blended in. So yes, Joe, I'm with you. we're gonna be a glutton for punishment, but I could just see the eyes. It would be good. We got some 3D printing plans for that too, so it'll be interesting and possibly a good seller. Space teddy bear. Puppet. Who wouldn't want one? How to violate copyright without violating copyright. Okay, there we go. 2 Greebly arms turned, ready for stuffing. Jimmy is yelling at the door. It's like 12:52. I think we're gonna call it a day, or call it a morning at least, and then I'm gonna have some lunch, and then we're gonna get back to it after lunch. But yeah. Anyway, thank you all. This was another nice lively stream. I like that a lot. Thank you to everybody who joined us on Owncast. And yes, this will be archived on the PeerTube at puppet.zone. And of course on the YouTube channel as well. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Fine, this was good. And we will hopefully be doing it again next week. Because I've got so much medical stuff coming up, I do reserve the right to like just kind of go, I need a day. But I'm going to try and do these like really regularly. So anyway, I'm gonna go away now. So I'm gonna end the Owncast. I'm gonna hit the button on purpose this time. Thank you very much. And where's my mouse? I need the mouse for this bit. Okay, thank you everybody. We are going to sign off now. So join the Discord, etc. And the podcast is coming up. So anyway, have a good day.